Welcome to Nigby News at 12 o'clock on a Saturday. Now for some sports news. Major sporting events, including Premier League football matches, could be played in empty stadiums as the coronavirus outbreak spreads. Sports authorities and broadcasters have been summoned by the government to Monday's meeting to discuss contingency plans in case the virus spreads further. Manager Steve Bruce fears it is pretty inevitable Premier League games will be played behind closed doors as a result of the outbreak. He says at this pre-match press conference on Friday, "It's hard to imagine, isn't it? But obviously they're doing it now in Italy, and it's something we're probably going to face. People's lives are at stake and we've got to go by the authorities, but it looks pretty inevitable that could be on the cards." Ministers will go over a wide range of scenarios for all sports in the hope of reaching agreements about a plan to protect the public. The Premier League has so far not changed any football fixtures, but has scrapped the traditional pre-match handshake between players. Italy, the worst affected country in Europe, with more than 4,636 coronavirus cases and a death toll of 197, has already forced all top-flight Serie A games to be played without fans for a month in an attempt to curb the outbreak. In France, Paris Saint-Germain's Ligue 1 game away to Strasbourg has been postponed following a prefectural order issued on Friday by the Grand Est region. The Six Nations have postponed this weekend's Scotland vs France women's match on Scotstoun Stadium in Glasgow after one of the Scotland players tested positive for the coronavirus. The team had recently returned from northern Italy. 7 members of the management and players are self-isolating. It follows the postponement of the men's match between Italy and England in Rome, which had been scheduled for 14th of March. And this weekend's clash between Ireland and Italy, due to be held in Dublin, is also off. Meanwhile, players from Danish Super League clubs Brøndby and Lyngby are in isolation after they met and hugged former Denmark international Thomas Kjælenberg, who has since tested positive for the virus. Now, for the silly news of the week on Nigby News. A teacher who fired a staple gun at students, dragged a pupil across the floor, and made a stupid comment about a vagina while in school has been banned from the profession. Joshua Brandon Lewis used abusive language towards people, placed at least one student in a headlock, and pulled chairs away from under students, causing them to fall on the ground. The 26-year-old was a newly qualified teacher at Carlton Le Willows Academy in Gedling, Nottingham, but resigned in May 2018 after a string of complaints. On Thursday, the findings of a teacher misconduct panel were published, which said Mr. Lewis had been banned from teaching indefinitely. The panel found several allegations against Mr. Lewis were proven, including that he made derogatory remarks towards pupils. In one incident in December 2017, a pupil described a drawing as looking like her friend's vagina, and Mr. Lewis said words to the effect, "If your vagina looks like that, you've got a problem." In an interview after the incident, Mr. Lewis said on reflection it was a stupid comment, while the pupil said she had been left feeling really uncomfortable. Insurers are set to pay out an average $32,000 per household for flood claims after destructive UK winter storms. The bill to clean up after storms Dennis and Ciara is set to total more than £360 million. the Association of British Insurers, said. About 240 million is going on flood claims and 149 million on wind damage. Now, on the subject of weather, we will now go to our weather lady. Thank you, Holly.
And welcome to the weather. Down here, it is raining, and up here, it is dry. Thank you for watching the weather.
Thanks for that, Holly. It's been Nigby News at 12 o'clock. I'll see you next week.